Guys, do subscribe the Gate Hunt and press the bell icon to receive notifications on latest jobs updates, Gate talks and video lectures on Gate and IES. Hello guys, welcome to this 11th lecture of ICT for GS for IES. So in the last lecture, we have discussed some basic terminologies related to ICT networking security. So before starting today's lecture, let us recall that what is the definition of computer security or cyber security or IT security or networking security. So as we have discussed that it is the process of protecting the software or hardware and important information from third party users. So how do we protect the software? We protect the software using digital signature and we are protecting the hardware using firewall. So today we will be discussing about this firewall and digital signature. So let us first of all discuss about firewall. So firewall is a device which is installed between the internal organization of a network and the rest of the internet. So it is meant to protect hardware, and let us say that this is a firewall and this is an organization, and in this organization we are having some networks, okay, and this is the outside organization which we call internet. Therefore, in order to protect this internal organization from this outside organization, we need to install a firewall between them. So guys, what is this firewall doing here? We can say that it is controlling the inflow and outflow to the network and from the network, which means that it filters the data going from internal organization to outside world and data coming from outside network to the internal organization. Moreover, it is monitoring transmission between organization and rest of the internet. So these two are the functionalities of a firewall. So we can say that the properties of a firewall are that it controls and monitors the data traffic between the inside and outside network, and it protects and secures the inside network from the outside network. Guys, one more thing regarding firewall is that it can be a software or a hardware or a combination of both. So for example, generally we use router as a firewall. So as we have discussed in earlier lectures, that router is used to find the shortest path and to send the data from sender to receiver using that shortest path. So a router is a hardware component and a software is added to it which is meant to filter the data packets which are coming from inside network or from outside network. So by the combination of this router and the software, a firewall is made. So hence we can say that firewall can be a combination of both hardware and software. Guys, now let us talk about different classifications of firewall. So firewall is classified basically into two types. First one is packet filtering firewall and second one is proxy firewall. So the packet filtering firewall is also referred as packet filtering router. It is functional till the transport layer of OSI reference model, and it is filtering the packets based on the rules which are provided at the network and transport layer of OSI reference model. So there are some rules which guides that what type of URLs are allowed to be sent to the internal network and what type of URLs are not allowed to be sent to the internal network. So these set of rules are provided at the network and transport layer of OSI reference model. Guys, moving on, the second type of firewall is proxy firewall, which is also referred as application level gateway. So guys, in case of packet filtering firewall, the hardware component used is router, whereas in case of proxy firewall, the hardware component used is gateway. So the second point of proxy firewall is that it is functioned at application layer of OSI reference model. Moreover, it is filtering the packets based on the information which is added to the proxy. So what does this proxy means? This proxy means that it is a temporary storage. In that temporary storage, we are placing some URL addresses, some IP addresses and some other information. So if any system which is a part of the internal organization is making a request to access any URL address, if it is matching with the URL address which are part of the proxy, then it can say that it is a legal address and it forwards that request. Otherwise, if that URL address does not matches with the proxy, then it can say that it is an illegal address and it blocks that URL. So guys, based on this concept of firewall, a previous year question came in IES 2017, which we are going to discuss now. Earlier we have discussed a previous year question which came in IES 2018, which was about the full form of CDMA. So now we will be discussing the question which came in IES 2017 from this topic, that is from firewall. So the question was, consider the following statements on firewall used in computing system. First statement is it controls and monitors the data traffic flow between inside and outside network. Second one is it protects and secures the inside network from any outside network. Third one is it can be implemented in software or hardware or a combination of both. So the question is which of the above statements are correct. So these are the four options: 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, and 1, 2 and 3 only. So coming to this first statement, we know that the firewall is placed between the internal organization and the outside network. Therefore, we can say that it controls and monitors the data traffic between inside network and outside network. Therefore, some request can be forwarded and some request can be dropped. So we can say that the first statement is true one. Now coming to the second statement, as we know that the purpose of firewall is to protect internal organization, so that is why it is a security mechanism. So the second statement is also true, that it protects and secures the inside network from any outside network. And the third statement is also true, as we have studied that firewall can be a software or a hardware or a combination of both. So the option D is the correct option. Guys, now we will talk about digital signatures. So guys, as we have discussed that digital signatures are used to protect our personal information. So before talking about digital signatures, there is a small topic which is related to the digital signature. So we are discussing this topic. It is cryptography. So what is this cryptography? It is a process of protecting the original information by converting the state of original information from one form to another. So this cryptographic process includes true processes. Okay, so the first one is encryption and number second one is the decryption. So encryption is the process of translating the plain text data into something that appears to be random and meaningless. So this plain text data means the original message. So in the encryption process, we translate the original message into something that appears to be meaningless. Okay, so in order to secure our data from third party users, we converts it to something meaningless, so that the third party user cannot, if he hacks, if by chance he hacks our network, then also he is not able to understand that what we have sent to the receiver. So this meaningless data is known as the ciphertext. Guys, moving on, the second type of process included in cryptography is decryption. So it is the process of converting this meaningless data, which is known as ciphertext, back to the plain text. So guys, now let us try to understand that how does this encryption and decryption is helpful in protecting our information from third party user. So we will understand this by using a block diagram based on this cryptography. So let us consider that this is the sender node and this is the receiver node. So the sender is transferring some plain text, which is the original message, to the receiver. So in between, a encryption algorithm is used which converts this plain text into this ciphertext, which means a meaningless data. Okay, then this ciphertext is passed through decryption algorithm which converts this ciphertext back to the plain text, and then it gets received to the receiver. So these all processes are taking place in the sender side and these processes are taking place in the receiver side. Guys, a key is used to do data encryption and decryption. So this key is responsible for converting the plain text into the ciphertext on sender side and then converting this ciphertext into plain text on this receiver side. So this is how the cryptography is protecting the original information from third party user. So guys, let us now discuss about this key which is being used for converting this plain text to ciphertext and then this ciphertext back to this plain text. Guys, key can be defined as a piece of information or some set of rules that determines the functional output of a cryptography algorithm. That is, for encryption algorithm, a key specifies the transformation of plain text into ciphertext, and for decryption algorithm, a key specifies the transformation of ciphertext to plain text. So these are some set of rules which are designed to convert one form of text to another form of text. So guys, keys are classified into three forms. First one is the public key, second one is the private key, and third one is the shared key. So this public key is used for data decryption and private key is used for data encryption. Guys, we will not go in detail about the functionality of keys because it is ahead of the scope of general studies for IAS preparation. So guys, now let's talk about this digital signature concept. So as we have discussed earlier, that digital signatures are used for protecting our personal information from third party users. So this use of digital signature for personal information protection is done in two steps. First one is signature generation, which is performed at sender side, whereas second one is signature verification, which is performed at receiver side. So we will talk about this signature generation and signature verification using block diagrams. So guys, let's talk about this signature generation which is performed at the sender's side. So guys, let us assume that this is the large message which is meant to be sent by sender to the receiver. So let us denote this large message with M. Okay, so a hash function which is denoted by H is applied to this large message, and this large message is converted to hashed message which we can represent as H of M. Okay, so this, what is the importance of this hash function here is that it converts a variable sized message into a fixed sized message. Okay, so here this large message is a variable sized message, whereas after applying this hash function, this message has been converted to a fixed size message. So on this hashed message, we are applying encryption. We are applying that digital and data encryption using sender's private key. Okay, so this ks minus represents sender's private key. This we are applying to this hashed message, and hence we are doing data encryption. And whenever we have done this encryption, we will get the output which is called encrypted message digest, and we can represent it as ks minus h of m. And on adding this encrypted message digest and this large message, we get m plus ks minus h of m. So this whole thing, which is the addition of large message and encrypted message digest, is forwarded to the receiver. So guys, now let's talk about that how this signature verification is performed at receiver side. So this was the final input which has been sent by the sender to the receiver. So for receiver, this is what the input message is. So what it will do, it will separate the large message and encrypted message digest, which means the large message is at one side and the encrypted message digest is at another side. Therefore, after this separation of this large message, whatever hash function sender has used, same will be used by the receiver. Okay, and then it generates the hashed message. On the other hand, on this encrypted message digest, we apply decryption. And this decryption is done by using sender's public key. So this ks plus is representing sender's public key. And whenever we have done this decryption, we will get a hashed message. So now this hashed message and this hashed message are compared, and that whether both are equal or not. So guys, if both are equal, then we can say that signature is verified successfully. Whereas if both are not equal, we can say that signature is not verified successfully. So that is how this signature verification is done on receiver side. So guys, from here we can say that the two main advantages of digital signature is that it is verifiable and it is non-repetitive. So using this digital signature, we can protect our personal information, and using the firewall, we can protect our network hardware. So alright guys, that's it about the cyber security. In the next lecture, we will start the next chapter of ICT. Guys, do hit the like button and do subscribe the Gate Hunt and press the bell icon to receive notifications on latest jobs updates, Gate talks and video lectures on Gate and IES.